place where it was at.
I want to tell you a little bit about Felix Grundy Stidger. He was a Union spy. He was a native of Spencer County in Taylorsville. He was a spy who foiled a plot by a Confederate underground group called the Knights of Golden Circle to firebomb cities of the North, free rebel prisoners, and turn the tide of the Civil War, which was sort of the beginning of the Secret Service. The son of Harmon and Narcissa Holsclaw Stidger. He was born August the 5th, 1836. He was a teenage carpenter, a store, and a court clerk, and I believe those jobs were in Bloomfield. He was combatant in battles of Perryville, Stone River, and Chickamauga. As a spy, he rose to powerful position. His testimony resulted in convictions of major conspirators known as the Copperheads. He became a hunted man. He moved to Chicago, and he opened a shorthand school. Eventually, he settled in Mattoon, Illinois, where he died, and Stidger was buried in the Chicago Oakwood Cemetery. Guy Mock owned the property where the cabin is now, and the city was going to condemn it and tear it down. Susan Johnson was Guy Mock's daughter. She called Nathan Nation to see if he knew anyone who was interested in history and might purchase that property. She owned it along with 8 other heirs, I guess. And so Nathan gave her Davis and my name, that we might be interested. So at that time, I don't know, this has been several years ago, we agreed to pay $10,000 to those 9 heirs to acquire the property, and then we were going to donate it to some group who would restore it. So what happened was that 8 of those heirs agreed to sell, and 1 who lived in California refused. So that purchase never took place. Then eventually the city of Taylorsville took the property by eminent domain, and the heirs got nothing. So that's kind of the background of that. How I became involved, other than that, was the city of Taylorsville had the Kentucky League of Cities to come and help with a strategic plan for the city. This has been several years ago as well. We all met several times out at the extension office, and Felix Grundy Stidger became one of the committees, and I happened to join that particular committee, and I've been on it ever since. Before that, I think Don Pay and his wife and Joe Bowen, who used to live here and did a lot of things historically, were involved in trying to restore that cabin. And after them, it was when Bill Carr was the judge executive, he and Jack Proctor and Carol Dean Kurtzinger, they became involved, and Don Pay and that group kind of backed out. I think they had maybe, I don't know, they hadn't kept up some of the things that were supposed to have been done for a 502c organization. So the second group kind of got that back together. Presently, we only have 5 board members and 2 associate members. We need more members, and we need ideas for fundraising. Terry Cooper is now on our board, and Terry Vance is on our board, and we're looking for grant opportunities. The 2 of them are, and Gene Balter is on our board, and he's willing to write the grants. Arnie Mueller has been our president, and he is having health issues and is moving back to Wisconsin. So he has been just a wonderful person, though, to be involved with this. He's done so much work for us and gotten many grants. We've gotten a grant from the Crail Foundation. We've gotten a grant from the Linda and Jerry Bruckheimer Foundation, the Kentucky Colonels, the National Register of Historic Places, and we are on the National Historic Register. So we have
had many successes. If you go by there, you may think, oh, well, nothing's going to happen there, or nothing is happening there, but we've had a lot of things to happen there. We've taken down trees, we've taken down the dog leg that was on the cabin. Before the cabin was taken down, we had to repair the roof many times because the wind would blow it up, and we'd have to repair it to save the inside and the logs. We have a web page, a Facebook page, and right now we're concentrating on not putting the dog leg back, but just to get the cabin reassembled. We had to first, before we tore it down, we had to, I won't say tear it down, we disassembled it. Before we disassembled it, we had to restore the fireplace and the chimney, and we were able to get Joe Goodlett to do that for us. And then we have David Turner, a cabin restorer. We've seen much of his work, and we're very pleased with what we have seen about his work. And we hired him to disassemble the cabin. And he took it down and marked all the logs and numbered them and treated them for insects and waterproofing and that sort of thing, and then put a tarp over it, which has flown off a couple of times. We've had to get a heavier tarp each time to cover it. So it's sitting there right now, and we just need funds. We sent out 200 individual and business letters, and we received 3 donations. So I don't know, we need to do a lot of promoting, I think, for people to understand that this is one of the most historic buildings in this county. I was going to tell you something else about that. Oh, we purchased another accomplishment is the land beside it where the buses used to park across from the bus garage. We purchased that for $5,000, and we had a donor who donated the $5,000, an anonymous donor. Nice. So we were able to purchase that from the Habitat of Humanity. They were not able to build on that property because there are too many easements. And so we wanted it for parking in case, when we get the building up, then the cabin back up, we want it for parking because there's no parking there. So that was a real accomplishment. We have had an architect to design, have a blueprint for us, so we've got that ready to go. Right now what we're doing is waiting on getting a permit, and we can't get a permit from the city until David Turner, the cabin restorer, has insurance for workman's comp and all of that. He has to show proof of insurance for that. What I think David has been doing is working for individuals, not, places like in a city and a corporation or a foundation like this. So he's probably not ever had to deal with some of that bureaucracy, but we have to have that or we can't get a permit.
Plus he's never had to have workman's comp because he basically works by himself.
Right. So as soon as we get that, we're going to pour the foundation after we get that permit. We have the money to do that. We have a little bit more than that, but we just need more funds, and we're hoping to get a grant we're writing one for DAR, right? And another one for Kentucky Colonels, because usually when Kentucky Colonels give money for a project, they like to see it complete. So we're thinking they'll probably give us a grant again. So that's kind of the history. And I have these brochures that we have. I'll pass those around.
How many of you all know where the property is over on Garrett Street? Yeah, mostly everybody. Their mission fits so well into our mission, which is to preserve, promote, and discover our unique and treasured history. So we're going to work to strengthen our relationship with the Felix Grundy Stidger Foundation and work to support them, and that could take on different forms like financial and or manpower, like to do fundraisers to help raise some money, because with 7 people it's hard to have, put on a banquet or something like that. So with our manpower and your manpower, we should be able to do some big stuff, you know, and so we're looking forward to strengthening that relationship.
And we have different membership levels, so we'd be happy to have any of you to join our group.
And any fundraiser ideas that you guys might think would work, we're open to hearing any ideas like along those lines as well.
Is there any estimate about how much money you need?
Yes, 80 to 100,000. And that's probably a low estimate than anyone else would give us, because David Turner has a connection to Spencer County.
He was born and raised
He
here.
was born and raised here. His stepfather was Arnold Martin.
So it's a lot of money, so, and I hope we can work together and maybe draw some other community support, you know.
Or even talk about it with your friends. Some
Yeah.
people may not be aware that it's back
Yeah.
there. So, yeah, so just